So just a quick mention of some of the technology that is used by Business Central. When you go to the Business Central website, you just log in and it just works in your browser. You don't really have to know all the technology behind the scenes. But I thought I'd mention it so that you understand that there is a lot of technology hosted by Microsoft that supports the Business Central platform globally. It is based on Microsoft Azure. So it's the Microsoft Cloud, and it uses referred to as Microsoft Azure, and it uses many of the Microsoft Azure technologies to provide and support the Business Central application. Part of that is the entire Azure Cloud platform, and one component of that is what was formerly known as Azure Active Directory that is now called Microsoft Entra. And that's like login management, security, user authentication, two-factor authentication. That's provided by Microsoft Entra, which is the cloud version of Azure Identity Management. And this is all, Business Central is operating within the broader Dynamics 365 and Office 365 online ecosystem. So if a new user is added to the system, they will be listed under a Dynamics 365 user list and have a Dynamics 365 license, just as they may also have Office 365 licenses that are managed through an administrative portal online. Behind the scenes, the data for Business Central is stored in Azure SQL databases, and this is an online database platform similar to Microsoft SQL Server that you might have had installed on a local server at a company. But Azure SQL database is 100% in the cloud, 100% online. An Azure SQL database can be located anywhere in the world. You can choose the region, and it provides automatic backups and all sorts of additional features that are very, very powerful that would have cost a lot of money to do on premises at a company many years ago. And the programming language is mostly Microsoft.NET Core as the underlying programming framework used by Business Central. And as part of the development effort, it also uses Docker. And you may have, if you're a developer familiar with technical development things, Docker is similar to like a virtual machine framework, and that helps developers very quickly create development environments and testing environments. And all of Business Central is effectively written in what's called the AL programming language. So if I were to create a customization for Business Central, I would use the AL programming language, write a few lines of code, and I could add a field to a web page, a Business Central page. I could create a new Business Central page. I could add a feature or a function or do a calculation in Business Central using the AL programming language. Very powerful, rapid application development language. And last, we have web APIs. If you're familiar with the term API, that's an application programming interface, and that allows two applications or two websites to exchange data programmatically. It allows them to talk to each other to send data back and forth. So if you have a Shopify website and you need to retrieve a customer order, that would be done typically through a web API. And so Business Central has numerous web APIs that allow communication with different applications. Related tools and technologies, as I mentioned, that Business Central leverages many of the Microsoft applications and services to add value to customers. And one obvious one is Microsoft Office or Office 365, now often called Microsoft 365. It has numerous name changes, but under the Office product line, Business Central works directly with Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Outlook, as well as Microsoft Teams. So you can export or download data into Excel directly with one button click and work with the data in Excel. You can use Microsoft Outlook to communicate with customers and see Business Central activity directly in Outlook without having to leave Outlook and go to Business Central. You can also use Teams in a similar fashion. For customers who work directly in Microsoft Teams, you can see Business Central data, you can look up customers, you can look up transactions. Another tool that is used for reporting and data analytics is Power BI. Power BI is a very powerful reporting and visual data presentation application that allows you to retrieve data from Business Central and present that data in visually appealing charts, graphs, analyses that help businesses better understand what's going on with their transactional data. And then there's the Power Platform, as we call it, and that involves Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Apps allows you to quickly create a web-based application and mobile application, and Power Automate allows you to automate certain business tasks or data transformation tasks online in the cloud with no installation on your local servers at all. And lastly, Business Central can integrate with the CRM product. I believe it is now called Microsoft 365 Sales. So if you have a sales team that is handling customer sales, customer quotes, customer orders, customer management, that CRM system can be integrated into Business Central to help extend Business Central functionality and provide a more feature-rich solution for customers. And if there is a feature that's not available in Business Central or not available in the other Microsoft apps or ecosystem, there are third-party products that we often call ISV solutions, independent software vendor solutions. So in the United States, there's an ISV that provides payroll services for United States companies to pay U.S. employees. That is not a feature of Business Central. So an ISV provides that functionality for customers in the United States. Inventory management, there are add-ons that enhance the inventory management functionality of Business Central. Maybe different barcode scanners or inventory management algorithms or techniques or processes, multi-warehouse operations. Those can be provided through third-party ISV solutions that enhance Business Central functionality. Similar with manufacturing, whether you're a discrete manufacturer or a process manufacturer, maybe there are some features that you need that are not part of Business Central, so you can use a third-party manufacturing product to enhance the Business Central functionality. And there are literally hundreds and hundreds of more applications available for Business Central through an app store called App Source. So you can go to App Source, browse the applications, find one that enhances the functionality you need, download and install it into Business Central. And I want to mention the Business Central community. This is an amazing element of Business Central that just formed organically through all the people that work with Business Central and use Business Central. And it is a fantastic community that seems to largely form around the Twitter platform, now called X, but I still call it Twitter. So if you are not on Twitter, if you are interested in Business Central, I highly recommend getting onto Twitter, set up an account. You can follow me and several others in the Business Central community, and you can see some great posts. Kenny from Microsoft is posting on troubleshooting Business Central web services. So he's sharing an article that he posted on LinkedIn. And Brad is sharing an article on the updates to Business Central that came out recently. And then Gavin has a blog post on a closer look at the net change balance and date of flow fields on the chart of accounts page. So these are some pretty advanced topics. There's both beginner articles, advanced articles, information sharing, and we all communicate on Twitter and share information. So it's a great community online. There are also several online forums that you can use to post questions, get answers, and help others related to Business Central. And lastly, there is CentralQ. CentralQ is an amazing AI-powered search engine that was developed by a Business Central MVP named Dmitry Katzin. And if you go to www.centralq.ai, you will see this search engine. And in this example, I entered the question, how do I set up item attributes? Now, CentralQ is trained on blog posts, documentation, Microsoft articles, and even YouTube videos all on Business Central. So it is a 100% Business Central focused search engine. So rather than go to Google or DuckDuckGo or some other online internet search engine that doesn't know necessarily what you're looking for, you can go to CentralQ.ai and ask your Business Central question, and you will get Business Central specific answers based off all of the training data that Dimitri has included. So with this one question, I didn't have to say Business Central. I didn't have to explain what I meant. It knows what I'm talking about when I ask about item attributes. And it provided me with step-by-step instructions for finding item attributes, entering them, and saving them. It also gave me additional information about assigning those attributes to items and item categories. So it understands what I'm asking for and the context of Business Central, and it gives me a lot more information than I would find through a typical web-based search engine. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that helped you understand more about Business Central, what it is, what it does, and how it helps businesses function.